Have you ever played a game with a story that you didn't quite get, but you still enjoyed it and it still affected you profoundly? That was me and my playthrough of Fallow. Fallow is for lack of a better term, a Yume Nikki-like. You got your little character and you walk around in a big scary world. There's no combat and only minimal puzzles. It's a lot of go here and see the story beat, and that unlocks a door or opens another place elsewhere to explore. You know, kind of like an adventure game, but without a lot of the game aspect of a game. Fallow was an incredible experience, created by a single dev, a woman named Rook, who is also a talented musician, songwriter, vocalist, and full disclosure, one of my favorite musical artists at the moment. When I heard that she had done a game, a few in fact, I immediately had to get up and grab it and get it and play it. And this is despite my hangups about Yume Nikki likes. I liked Yume Nikki. Oh my god. There's a fucking truck going by and it's totally fucking nuking my fucking brain cells right now. Ahem. I liked Yume Nikki, and I liked Omori, and I liked Mad Father, but not a huge fan of the genre as a whole. I wanted to play Fallow because Rook's lyrical writing is outstanding, and I was truly hoping that it would translate into the narrative of a game. And, I mean, it's a spoiler for the end of the video, but yes, she very much did a story for a video game with a narrative as good as any of her lyrics. That's the sound of the cat scratching some wood in the background. This recording's a fucking disaster. Take, for example, some of the lyrics from her Crisis Sigil project and the title track from the album, God Come Poltergeist. Return to life, another wreckage in the pattern of the weak obsessions, still out of sight, another wet dream in the dead gleam of repression. This moonless night will be the catalyst for everything a long time coming. Death under bright lights, return to nothing. These lyrics go through me like a blade of honed and tempered nihilism. They slide through my soul like a spearhead blazing with the heat of 10,000 exploding suns. On a similar tangent, the lyrics for 9,999,999 in a Dream, I think it's a mistake that this world can contain us. I used to believe in dreams. I gave up all my life to try to make a portal, but it's been driven out of me. This whole world is a weapon, invincible redundancy. Everyone can see the future, love, trash, fear, wave, crashing over every precious thing. These words are like a pulsar of hostile energy from deep in outer space has crashed to the very core of my being, and has stripped away anything good left inside the mangled and tortured framework that was once my heart. For a third example, let's look at the song from her most recent and killer album, Unkillable Angel, and the song, All Tales Death Animations. Okay, we won't read any more lyrics. I just wanted to say the name of that particular song because it's WTF as hell. But the lyrics are actually tragically dark, and with such a silly title, that somehow makes these dark lyrics darker. Now, as amazing as the lyrics are, and as emotional as they make me feel, I couldn't tell you what they are, quote-unquote, actually about. All I can tell you is how they made me feel when I read/hear them. And to me, both as a music enjoyer TM and also as a lyricist, this is what makes lyrics amazing. A lyricist should be able to take your emotions, shove them into a meat grinder, shit them out, and when they emerge on the other side, make you feel like a completely different person. Lyricism to me is something that should rend your entire mind and spirit. You might not know the exact ins and outs of the characters and the story being told, but those words should leave you absolutely destroyed, or enraptured, or depressed, or enthralled, or whatever. I guess to bring up another example of lyrics, when CNC Music Factory comes on and I hear Martha Wash singing "Everybody Dance Now," I do not know who makes up everybody. I do not know which dance they are dancing, and I sure as hell don't know why they need to dance right now in this time and place, but the fire in her voice charges me up and makes me want to dance right now along with everybody else. What the fuck am I even talking about? Fallow is like this. Fallow is fairly short. It took me like 4 hours to get through the whole game, and I feel a good 90 minutes of this was the fuse box puzzles. Yikes. I could not truly do a proper story breakdown of this game, but it made me feel. The only thing I can really tell you about the story is that it is the post-apocalypse. God's name is Mary Ann. There are massive world-eating worms, and you play as a young girl who misses her sisters. I'm sure after multiple playthroughs, the game's story would be clearer for me, but for me at least, in a world where there are always another 400 video games to finish, I usually only get to play games once. And to mirror my comment about Rook's lyrics, I might not know the ins and outs of the characters, but fuck me if reading through their interactions did not make me feel deeply depressed. The writing in this game, like Rook's lyrics, can feel ambiguous. I cannot tell you where the World Eaters came from, but I can tell you that the people of this world were terrified by them. I cannot tell you the purpose of the Tower of the Furnace, but I can tell you that the machine enthusiasts sure did enjoy hanging out in the basement there. I cannot tell you what caused Isabelline's sisters to leave, but I can tell you that it ate her up, and it fucking ate me up as well. I have had intense abandonment issues my entire life. My father left us when I was 6 years old, and I did not see him very often after that. I won't get into the exact details because this isn't about me, but the feelings of loss and abandonment in Fallow really struck a chord with me. Once again, the exact details of the hows and whys are not important. The fact that Rook has managed to create a piece of art that cuts through my being and leaves my heart raw, my soul torched, and my being beaten is majestic. I felt something playing this game, and I won't spoil the ending, but that ending made me weep. Okay, so that's the story and the emotional ruin it left me in, but Richard, what about the actual gameplay of this video game? The gameplay is fine. You walk around this minimalist world painted in a muted palette, interacting with shiny spots or weird-looking devices. The exploration does have a load of environmental storytelling, which tells you just enough for you to understand, but not fully. Like these weird little brains and jar monster alien being bug things, or these giant biomechanical sentinel things that tell you things. I can't really be any more exact because that's really all you get. There was an apocalypse, now it's years later, the world is fucked, here are brains in jars that are used like batteries, and here are these tall, sentinel, vaguely humanoid-shaped robot things from heaven or outer space or something? The world building in this game is masterfully vague. The narrative just dumps you into this unique post-apocalypse and says, go do it. It doesn't tell you the ins and outs of every little bit of minutia. It just lets you try to figure things out on your own. Like there's this one trope that's especially prevalent in sci-fi, and you know that I love my science fiction. It's this trope where in-universe characters explain things to each other like they're absolute idiots and have never interacted with these things before. You'll have this conversation between these two scientists who are like 60 years old and have been scientists for 25, 30 years. And they're explaining the intricacies of a teleportation system that they interact with every single day of their lives, but they're explaining it just for the benefit of the viewer or the watcher or the reader. There is none of that in Fallow. You're just in the universe. There are things here that we don't have, we don't know about, but are prevalent in this world. And Isabelline's just like, yeah, there's these weird sentinel robot things. And doesn't explain it because she's interacted with them her entire life. Imagine walking into a corner store to buy a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos, and you need to have this 6-minute conversation with the clerk first, where you both explain what Doritos are. That's not how conversation works. And yes, it can be a literary device, but it sucks. I know what the transporter on Star Trek does. I've seen 10,000 episodes of fucking Star Trek. You don't need to explain the transporter to me. You don't need to explain the transporter in universe. There is none of that in Fallow. There are bizarre things that are very interesting and I'd like to know more about, but she doesn't tell ya. There's just enough in-universe environmental storytelling that you know that you're in a fucked up future. Where the fuck is my script? I'm so off script, it's not even funny. Ultimately, this is a story about depression. It's about Isabelline and her sisters. The brain jar alien things and the biomech sentinel dudes are not important. It's like the broken down cars or the abandoned buildings. They're there, they provide some scenery and something to think about, but it's the characters and the emotion that matters in Fallow. There will be some light puzzles to solve, stuff like click a thing and then go into a new room to click another thing, but there is one huge puzzle in the middle of the game which involves moving around fuses to different fuse boxes, and damn, that was harrowing. It was either really complex or I'm dumb as bricks, or maybe both, probably both. I also got lost a couple of times, just not really sure where to go to continue the story, so I just walked around the entire map again and again. Once again, probably a Richard Dumb moment, but I would have liked a clue system or maybe a bit more instruction. But hey, once again, the gameplay isn't why I'm here. So yeah, I think it's obvious. I was a big fan of this game. The world, the setting, the bleakness, the muted palette, the incredible soundtrack, which is this lo-fi alt-country kind of thing. And I don't really like country at all, but the lo-fi quality of the guitars and the keys and everything else just really set the mood that you're in this dusty post-apocalyptic world. But will everyone else enjoy this game? If you liked Yume Nikki, hell yeah. If you like to feel things, hell yeah. If you want something just like Earthbound or Omori or whatever, maybe not. But I'd say if you want to feel something, if you want to open a pit of despair in your belly and fall into a world of loneliness and isolation, then you will want to play Fallow, with the volume turned up loud. Why would you want to feel depressed? Because sadness is what truly separates us from all of the other animals on this earth. For RPG Fortress, I'm Richard, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hug a cat. Goodbye. Also, she has a song called Xanathog, which is a monster from Phantasy Star 4, so she's the best storyteller of our time. 12 out of 10, would listen again.